everybody who we got in the comments. I know Miguel's Abby because he's always first. Thank
Got
you,
Miguel.
Miguel.
Got Teresa, 273.
Hi,
Hello.
Teresa.
We got Jenna,
The
Colby.
Whoopsie in charge.
We got Automaton 111.
Automatron. Automatron.
Automatron. No, it's Automaton 111. There's no R.
Out.
I don't know. What is this? Automaton, tell us what this is.
This is why we need free calling. Oh my god.
There's literally a Facebook group somewhere, I think, where it's like, this is why Bernie Sanders wanted you to go to college for free.
Really? I gotta check that out. Oh my god. I know, I see. What's the one that's like the one where you're going out when you're going out of the parking garage and it says like existed instead of exited.
Oh.
Like very philosophical if you want to leave this parking garage. What's that say?
This is so Automaton is explaining themselves. An automaton is an old mechanical robot. They use them to play music. Oh.
Nice. I
learn something new every day.
I like it. And speaking of music, oh my gosh, we're doing a That's So 80s trivia night. It is free, but suggested donation is $5 or more. And that money goes towards the rally I'm doing in East Palestine for M for M for All. We're going to be talking about healthcare as a human right. And also listening to some of the comrades I've met in East Palestine who are going to be sharing their stories. And that's actually what we're talking about first, because someone who's become very dear to me, Jamie, I was hooked up by Lewis of Status Quo. He was like, you got to, she's a person you want to talk to because she knows everyone. And she's kind of become my guardian as to, I've never been to Ohio and I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So I need someone helping me, to let me know how things work in East Palestine, connect me with this, that, and the other thing. And she's been my go-to. And she texted me this tonight and I was raging. So, and I still am. So we are going to that first.
So let me share. Want me to read the article headline and read a little bit of it?
Yes.
Norfolk Southern unveils compensation plans for homeowners near derailment site. Norfolk Southern is spelling out how it will compensate East Palestine, Ohio homeowners whose homes lost value due to the railroad's February derailment. I think we were talking about that before with Louis a little bit of how, all those houses have lost money in value. In a letter to a bipartisan group of senators on the Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee, Norfolk Southern said it would initially compensate homeowners within an approximately 5-mile radius of the derailment and who sell their homes for less than their property's pre-February 3rd appraised value. Norfolk Southern says that it expects it will be able to begin making payments to eligible homeowners within 1 year. The plan to compensate homeowners came after CEO Alan Shaw was grilled by members of the committee at a March 9 hearing. Ed Markey, my senator, a Massachusetts Democrat, asked Shaw 4 different times to commit to compensating homeowners, only to hear Shaw repeatedly reply, "Senator, I'm committed to do what's right." Unbelievable.
He said that to Bernie time and time again, too.
Yeah. His responses angered Markey and some other senators. Will you commit to ensuring that these innocent families, do not lose their life savings and their homes and small businesses? Markey asked Shaw at that hearing. The right thing to do is to say, yes, we will. Do you want me to keep going?
Okay, well, are you gonna fucking say it?
Right.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah. So, do you want me to keep going? Or is that...
No, that's okay. I think, this is beyond breadcrumbs, and you're talking a year. Now, one of the things people have told me from East Palestine, who I've interviewed and who I've talked to and interacted with, they all tell me the same thing. All of their homes have gone down to less than 50% of what they were.
Yeah.
So you have a house that's worth $100,000. Now it's worth less than $50,000. And the thing is, people are saying, they want to sell. I'm going to keep it real. Who the flying fuck wants to move where this shit just happened? Who is going to buy that house? I don't care if it's a fucking mansion. I don't care.
Right.
This is like the way they're treating these people and the way they're trying to skirt over this shit and the way that people are still getting sick as fuck and the way that their water is still so fucked up. And you're trying to say, oh, but if you sell the house, then we'll compensate you a little within a year. Okay, well, guess what? That ain't gonna fucking happen. So you're acting like you're just coming in to save the fucking day, when in actuality, you're offering something that is not going to happen. Well, we know nobody's going to buy a house here. So we'll just offer that. We'll give them some compensation when they sell it. Like, it's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, and it's infuriating. And you know what? I want to give a shout. Do what?
It's like, give it to them now. Like, right now.
I want to give a shout out to Tammy's Chai. Her and her husband, Rick, are in East Palestine. I had Tammy on my show. Rick is a doctor there. And they're both just freaking amazing. And they started a GoFundMe to raise money to help get people out of East Palestine into a new home. And they were able to just give the very first East Palestine resident $10,000 to put on a new home so they can get out of East Palestine. Now, you guys may have seen this woman. Her name is Connie. She was on last week. Marianne Williamson went to East Palestine, and they were going around like a living room, just kind of sharing their stories. And Connie was, oh my God, she just shared how she thinks she's going to die. And she thinks she's never going to get to see grandbabies. And I mean, her story, like, she already had medical issues, but this has just exacerbated everything. And then I found out today she fucking works at McDonald's every day starting at 2:30 in the morning. And she's not young. So I think she said she's in her 50s. So she has all these health problems. And she's still working a job where she has to stand up all day and stuff, starting at 2:30 in the morning. This, like, it's fucking outrageous. And I don't know, I know it's a very poverty-stricken area. I don't know what kind of house you can get for $10,000 down payment, but I do know she now has the foundation to get out of EP. So I want to thank Tammy and Rick for that, because that's a big fucking deal. And I am so excited they're starting with Connie. She deserves it. So yeah, we'll see if Connie can sell her house and get within a year some kind of compensation.
Yeah, definitely. Teresa saying psychopaths ruining everything.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
yeah. We got 86 Blackberry White saying capitalism doesn't care about people, only profits. Yeah,
Yep.
and I think that really just shows that the fact where it took a lot of pressure at a Senate hearing just for them to say, oh, we'll give you money when you sell the house. We'll give you what the appraisal was back in February 13th.
And
February 3rd,
now,
which
yesterday was 100 days. 100 fucking days.
it's really been 100 days. Holy shit.
It's
Feels like
been
it
today's
happened so
101.
recent.
I know. I
Yeah.
fucking know. I'm going to put this in
Lucky
the
Burrito says
chat.
Andrew face red heart shape, Joy face red heart shape. Lucky.
It's so weird. That comes up
And
a lot, you guys.
so,
When you guys do emojis, it comes up like with the description of it. It's really fucking weird.
oh, that was okay. That makes sense. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
it comes out.
nice, Lucky,
When
but
I
that's a
read the
very like
comments
specific
after the show,
description
I'm
of
like, what is praying hands purple heart? I'm like, what does that
that
mean?
is amazing.
Yeah, or like medium skin tone thumbs up. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
You know what, Miguel? It's late. Miguel's like, Andrew didn't get it. It's like, well, it's late. And you know what? If it weren't late, I probably also wouldn't get it either. So you know what? Whatever. Face
Oh my
blue
god.
smiling. Now, Miguel, I don't know if you're just like writing out
Now
face
you're
blue
just
smiling.
fucking with us. I'm gonna put this here. Is
Yeah.
is that the link for
Yep, the
the
link is up.
okay. Yeah, so that's the first part that infuriated me. Now we're going to go to the second part that had me really like, when I say I'm nonviolent, I mean like I'll be 44 on Sunday and I've never been in a fight in my entire fucking life. And this made me want to punch a fucking wall.
It's like the growth mindset. You haven't been in a fight yet. So this is Daily Mail exclusive. I truly feel defeated and useless. Emails and texts reveal anguish of East Palestine fire chief over lack of adequate health advice after he was told to treat chemical disaster like a normal house fire. The desperate fire chief of East Palestine, Ohio, said he felt defeated, useless, and so angry in the wake of the train derailment. Texts and emails obtained by dailymail.com reveal Keith Drabick vented his frustration privately in messages following the February 3rd crash, which saw toxic soup of carcinogenic and corrosive chemicals released into the community, resulting in an environmental and health crisis. Text message exchanges showed Drawback becoming increasingly aggravated at one point, expressing, "Why does this have to be so hard?" Thinking what a lot of us were. He admitted to having to take a moment because he was getting overwhelmed with the conflicting responses to the disaster by officials, particularly a leaflet campaign by the Federal Emergency Management Agency that he dubbed a ginormous shit show. He also said he felt abandoned by Ohio's Republican Governor Mike DeWine after he was left to sit by and watch shit fall apart, and admitted he had lost faith in the city's health department after it told him to treat the crash like a normal house fire. Huh. But the messages released as part of the FOIA request paint a vivid picture of how first responders handled the derailment of 38 carriages of the Norfolk Southern train as it made its way through the city. 11 of them were carrying hazardous chemicals like vinyl chloride, and half of their 5,000 residents were evacuated as Norfolk Southern conducted a controlled burn. But according to a lawsuit filed by residents, this ended up releasing a chemical that had been banned after World War I. Wow. You know it's bad if it's banned like over 100 years ago, and left them with
Mhm.
headaches, coughing, and burning feelings on their skin. Dozens of fish were killed, and residents fled the area amid fears their drinking water had become contaminated. The accident led to congressional hearings calling for tighter freight safety laws and the ongoing investigation into the crash by the National Transportation Safety Board, which also investigated Norfolk Southern safety practices. Do you want me to
And
stop
just
there?
to go back a little, when when they're saying, a dozen fish died, let's be clear, they're talking about the day this happened. At this point, there have been over 40,000 animals that have died in East Palestine. Now, that goes from fish to livestock, whatever. Over 40 fucking thousand animals have died. So I like how they're like trying to talk about like past tense, but no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's what they do, right? They fudge the numbers, and they say, this is what happened during the day, but this is what's been happening. And half the residents were evacuated, right? But we know more should have been evacuated. We know more should have been evacuated surrounding the area, miles and miles away, and how far these chemicals have gone.
Yeah, the one lady who was on the interview, she said they evacuated everyone within a mile, and I was 1.1 miles.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
And let's not forget, when they evacuated them, it was literally for a few days.
Yeah.
They were
And now
told
they're
that
back there.
to go back, and they're all fucking sick.
And people regularly have headaches. Their water is contaminated. Their clothes are contaminated.
They're taking baths in bottled water.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's not forget that vinyl chloride that is tested with a urine test, that test is $700, and insurance does not pay 1 penny. So sorry you're sick. Oh well, come up with $700 fucking dollars, or tough fucking shit.
Right.
Oh wait, bring that back up, because I need you to read that section about my comrade, because that's what had me fucking heated.
Okay, let me get this. You want to get the screenshot?
Yeah, that'll work too.
Okay.
So my friend Jamie, I was telling you about, that's helping me, organize the East Palestine rally we're doing. She texted me this, and I'm protective of people I care about. This has me fucking raging.
Yeah. So, I had it, and then sorry. All right. Here we go. Let me read it. All right. So, hard to see, but I'm going to read it. So 2 weeks later, Dreybach and East Palestine Mayor Conway expressed their shock at who was speaking at their city in Congress during the testimony of Norfolk Southern Chief Executive Alan Shaw. Conway shared a link to a Facebook post which talks about Jamie Kaza and her partner Chris Wallace, both residents of East Palestine, going to Washington. Dreybach wrote, "That's what the village gets to represent us in D.C. Isn't that wonderful?" Conway replied, "What the fuck?"
So I just want to, so Jamie sends me that. And immediately I'm fucking heated, because, well, not only do I care about this woman and know she's a badass, but they really have the audacity to do less than nothing for these people, and then get outraged about, the particular people who go to DC. So essentially, I don't want to put words in their mouth because it pisses me off so fucking bad. But what they're doing is calling them lowlifes or something like that, essentially. And saying, really, these are the people you're having represent us. But that has so much balls to even say that fucking shit, because the only people representing East Palestine are y'all fucking politicians who are letting people fucking suffer. Don't say a damn thing about Jamie and her partner. They're the ones who are doing your fucking job. Okay? So this is so fucking disgusting. Like, they are better people than you will ever fucking be in your damn life. You know why? Because they fucking care and they have hearts and they want to help people. So it's so, like, the audacity of actually trying to go at people and calling them like the wrong people who should be like representing them, when, like, no, trust me, when people think of East Palestine, they're not thinking about fucking Jamie and her partner. They're thinking about your corrupt fucking asses, the fact that you're sitting there collecting dollar after dollar while these people are fucking suffering. That's who they think about. So don't even fucking start with that bullshit.
Yeah.
So fucked up.
Sometimes those leaked texts just really show people who people really are, and what's really being said.
And the other stuff isn't shocking. And it's like, well, if the fire chief had remorse, I mean, that's good, but did he blow the whistle? No, he didn't. So, it's kind of like, well, I'm glad, now we have proof someone on the ground was like, this is not how it's supposed to be going. But at the same time, I'm like, what did you do, though? Like, what did you fucking do to stop it? So, I don't know, but my love to Jamie and her partner, because you deserve props, not condemnation.
Well, I think that answers the question on what are the local officials doing, right? Because we don't really hear too much about what the local officials have been doing when serving East Palestine. We hear about what Mike DeWine's not doing, what Biden's doing, obviously, which is important. But now we know too, the local officials are also just as shitty.
No, and that's why our protest that I'm doing for M for All, that's why it will be outside the courthouse. That's why. We are not, like, we are doing that shit in Town Square, where, the county meets and does legislation. I'm so not fucking around. If I get arrested, I don't give a flying fuck. I don't care. Like, something needs to fucking happen. 101 days. And you know what? Tell all these other people in so-called indie media that never even fucking cover EP, tell them they need to shut the fuck up and stop talking about other freaking live streamers and start doing something with a purpose. Because if you have a platform and you're ignoring people like this who are suffering so bad, what the hell's the point? You're CNN. You're CNN on the internet. That is all you are. So let's fucking keep it real. Start holding these people fucking accountable. Because the only reason they keep talking about shit and garbage instead of actual, substance is because people keep sending them all those fucking super chats.
Yeah.
Like, why would they change? How about we start talking about something that fucking matters. Start using your platform to actually fucking help people. People need to do that shit.
Agreed. And people need to stop encouraging that type of behavior to be happening on Twitter. And also, I mean, I think each of us individually can take our own part in that, right? So stop commenting, stop giving those tweets that are going after other people more likes, and feeding the algorithm, and actually just, yeah. Do what you can, even just posting things about something going on, even when someone decides to go after another podcaster, just saying, oh, let's talk about this instead, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Like,
because
it's cool to have fun and to joke. Like, it doesn't have to be serious 24/7.
of course not.
But like, if you're doing hour-long shows and it's all about look what Sam Cedar said and shit, like, who the flying fuck cares? Who cares? If I wanted to know, I'd watch his stupid ass. I don't,
Right.
because I don't care.
Yeah. I haven't seen Sam Cena in a long time, but
I've
I have
honestly,
seen
I've never watched him, but I've seen clips, and he makes me want to cry. I was
Then I
gonna
guess
say
it's good you
barf. I
don't
don't
watch
know.
I guess it's good you don't watch him if that's the reaction you get out of it.
No. I try not to poison my brain with stuff I know for a fact I don't like.
Yeah. I'm
Sorry for
gonna
the rant, but it was necessary because when people in East Palestine and surrounding areas tell me nobody else is fucking talking about this shit but you and Status Quo, like, continuously, that fucking pisses me off, because there are actual like networks, okay, with what, like 5 people or 6 people, 4 people, whatever, and none of them talk about it. So it's like, and they come to me and they're like, Joy, like, literally I send them DMs, they don't respond, like, and it's just so fucked up. It's so fucked up. So start holding people accountable. There is legit hero worship when it comes to streamers. Like, hero worship. Straight up. You ever say anything about this one podcaster? Oh my God, I will rip into you. You're like, it's fucking cultish and fucking stupid. Just start saying, look, we demand you talk about things that matter. And then maybe they will.
Maybe. If they're pressured.
Like, you should have to pressure.
If the super chats go down when they talk about other streamers, then maybe they'll stop.
Do you know how much my viewership has gone down because of these shows who do like this stupid clickbait bullshit? I don't care. I'm still going to be talking about this shit. I don't give a fuck. 2 people tune in. I'm still going to fucking talk about this shit. So take that.
Let's talk about more shit. On that note,
talk about more shit.
Let's talk about more shit. All right. Look at this shit. All right.
Look at this shit.
Look at this shit.
Look at this shit. What's this? What is this? All right, here? A bunch of shit.
So I just wanted to point out, this is interesting. As you know, we try and cover maybe one labor union victory vote per show, even if the companies don't always collectively bargain in good faith with these unions. But wanted to point out that workers at Rutgers University, Barnes and Noble College booksellers vote unanimously to join the Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union. So tonight, this was May 12th, so a few days ago, the Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union announced that by a unanimous vote, workers at Barnes and Noble College booksellers and Rutgers University have voted to join the RWDSU, Building upon last week's win by workers at REI in Chicago with RWDSU, today's win also comes amid a long-standing streak of wins by the RWDSU at independent booksellers in the New York area, including McNally Jackson, Goods for the Study, Greenlight Bookstore, and Book Culture. So now we got bookstores that are joining the union train here. As well as the union election petition of workers at Barnes & Noble's flagship Union Square, New York store. Workers at the store face continued safety issues amid the rebound of the pandemic, including workplace harassment, substandard pay for the industry below that of independent booksellers, unstable scheduling practices, that's a theme, a lack of structure when it comes to job duties and tasks at work, and favoritism by management, issues they're looking to address in their first contract negotiations. I cannot contain the happiness and excitement I have to have finally won, especially with our overwhelming support. Our victory was inevitable and stands in honor of workers everywhere, says Lenine Lashir Shide, member of the organizing committee and assistant department manager at Barnes & Noble College Bookstores.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Yo, if I were them, I would put so many books right up front. Like, here's the Communist Manifesto. like here's like all these books on unions and like
yes,
the
Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. Like, just there's a book that just talks about how that just caused a whole lot of labor victories, right? Just put that right up there. Hell yeah. So
hell yeah. And also shout out to Illinois, Iowa City. Starbucks just unionized yesterday. Also unanimous.
Yes, they did. And some
see it.
I think I saw also someplace there was some plant in rural Georgia that unionized.
Really?
Let me see. I gotta look it up. If anybody in the chat, there was someplace in rural Georgia that unionized.
Nice.
Or voted to unionize. They still got those contracts to negotiate. But yeah, it's wild that Barnes & Noble is joining. I mean, but I guess it kind of makes sense because I feel like, I don't know, just if baristas and coffee shop workers, Starbucks, they're going to unionize, oftentimes they got a Starbucks in Barnes & Noble, right?
Barnes & Noble. Yeah, that's what I was
kind of go hand in hand a little bit. Books, coffee. So I guess it was just bound to happen.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. When I think books, I think education. If you're not fucking educated enough to give your employees fucking fair wages, fair treatment, and stuff, like, that's so beyond jacked up.
Exactly. And yeah, oftentimes, right, librarians, they have a union.
God, yeah.
So why not people at bookstores? It's similar, right? Oftentimes, if you're selling books, it's good to know where they are. Good to have an idea of like what the different sections are, what you're selling. So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of cross.
Especially if you want people to not go to independent bookstores, because I will always go to an independent one over them. But yeah, I mean, I'm at fault because I kind of assumed they were union. I never really, I don't know. I guess I just kind of assumed it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
What does Common say?
Huh?
What does Common say?
Sorry. So I'm trying to look it up more. Bluebird Plant, they make electric buses. That's what unionized in Georgia.
Oh, nice.
Workers at Georgia School Bus. This is the Chattanooga Times Free Press. Workers at Georgia school bus maker Bluebird vote in favor of United Steelworkers Union.
Nice.
Yeah, they're one of the largest school bus manufacturers. They won by 697 to 435, according to the NLRB. Rural Georgia. I mean, hey, that is not I mean, okay, maybe I'm a little ignorant of Georgia's history with unions, but I'm just thinking this is the South. This is in a rural area. Doesn't strike me as a place that would, at least at this time, be the most union friendly.
Well,
So,
400 something people didn't vote yes. Now, it could be
of course,
because they're uneducated about it, they're getting pushback, their fear of
sure,
losing a
union
job.
busting. But it
It
was,
could be any of those things, but enough people
yeah.
knew it was
I mean, that's the thing,
advantageous.
though. That's the thing is that a lot of times, right, and in the South, there's been so much anti-union sentiment and propaganda over, the last 100 of years that oftentimes it's a lot harder, right, for it to happen. So whenever there is a victory there, I'm like, okay, wow, that is progress. And I think, yeah, sure, but 697 to 435. So yeah, there were a lot of no's, but it's not like it was like so close, right? I
Right.
mean, I I'm forgetting about the numbers now, but the Amazon vote, right, in Staten Island, proportionately, that might have even been a little closer than this. I could be completely wrong, but that wasn't a shoe-in by any means of imagination, as you can imagine, because Amazon, is a very
Yeah.
what?
No, I said yeah.
Yeah. So that's just a good wins all around for workers.
Oh, yes. And it's
You
like
know,
the more, I was looking at my memories on Facebook, and I love when they come up of all the unionized stores and how they cheer and they're so happy, and it's victorious. It really is. And there's such a ripple effect, which is the most beautiful part.
yes. Yeah. It's contagious.
I mean,
Uh,
Starbucks is what, over 300 stores now.
yes. Yeah, they are. But not one of them has agreed. They have finalized contracts, right? Starbucks continues to make up excuses for not coming to the bargain table. And so it is, definitely do what you can to show solidarity with the workers there, because I think a lot of them are starting to feel a little frustrated and tired. So at
It's,
least,
yeah, seriously. And so much, serious props to anyone who does try to start a union, even if it's not successful, or, anyone who, is brave enough to vote yes, because things you are risking if you vote yes, especially a place like Amazon that literally films you filling out the ballot, and things like that. So more power to you guys, for sure.
yeah, definitely. It's not easy. Um, so, switching gears and talking about Nazis. um, didn't really know of a good transition there. So, here, I'll just read the tweet and then we can go from there, Joy.
Yeah, that'll work.
A group called the Patriot Front are currently marching towards the U.S. Capitol. Currently, approximately 150 to 200 individuals identified as the Patriot Front and recognized as a right-wing organization is advancing towards the United States Capitol in D.C. via the National Mall. Numerous Metro D.C. police officers escorting them as they are working to maintain a separation between this group and any counter protesters. Should I play the video?
Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second. Here we go. They have a Reclaim America sign, a bunch of American flags. They're turning the flags upside down. Some of them are. Strong families make strong nations. And then, of course, behind you see cops that are literally riding behind them. Basically,
Probably
they have their back.
So I think
Go ahead.
the thing that really creeps me out about this, yeah, that people think this way. Okay, but we know that. Not to excuse it, but I think the thing that genuinely creeped me the fuck out is that they're literally all wearing the same outfits. If you pull it up again, it's all navy shirts, it's all tan pants, it's all white hats, it's all white bandanas.
Yeah.
I just got goosebumps. That shit fucking creeps me out. There is no individuality whatsoever. It is very cult-like. It is very much Germany-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But pull that up again. Just look at them in the single, while they're marching. That shit is creepy. In the beginning.
Yeah, they're in sync. They're all no one is showing their faces.
No. But they all look the same. That is so weird.
Yeah.
That is so weird. That is scary. But if you have balls to stand up for what you believe in, why the fuck are you covering your face anyway?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Official People's Party USA says, well, here is the deal. In a uniform, they cannot call you a terrorist or enemy combatant. Huh. Is that true? You wear a uniform and you can't be called a terrorist?
I don't know about that. I mean, police can be terrorists.
They can, although they're never designated as terrorists.
And I don't know if that's really a uniform per se, or if it's just they went to Gap and we're okay, we'll take every pair of tan pants you have.
Yeah. So Lucky Burritos brings this up, and I know I've heard this brought up as well. Saying because they are feds. I mean, do you think? I have no doubt that I'm sure some of those people, at least in those marching in those uniforms, are cops, right? That's no brainer, and there's been proof showing, right, that there's been
cops, doctors, lawyers, social workers, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And they don't want to get fired because you see everything. People on the internet are fucking ruthless, and they'll be doing image searches and find people and get them fired.
Mm-hmm.
What'd Kami say?
Yeah, Kami says most, not some, because I think I said some of them are cops, and so.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's why the cops behind them are like, "Hey, so and so," and they're like, "Don't act like you don't know me, dude."
Right. Oh, I'm right behind you. I got you.
Right behind you, buddy.
Tifa's not gonna come get you. You alpha males are safe.
Don't worry about it, guys. If you do anything illegal, I'm here.
Exactly.
I got your back.
Exactly. Those strong families. Yeah. It is wild, though. I was reading how more and more of those groups are starting to even infiltrate New England, right? They're becoming more and more safe to go into more of these places that are technically not supposed to be welcoming to those crowds. It is concerning, and they do seem to be getting more and more organized.
They are organized, and you know what? I'm going to get shit for this, and I don't care because it's true. The right wing is so much more organized than people on the left, and that's a fact. Yeah. Doesn't mean you have to agree with what they're fighting for or what they stand for or what they're marching for or whatever. But the fact of the matter is they have their shit together way more than we do. They are like people in other countries in the sense that they'll be like, okay, guys, we're having a march Saturday at blah, blah, blah. And everyone just shows up. like no questions asked. And there's no, well, you believe this, but not this. And like the right, like, knows how to organize. And that doesn't mean, we should join or whatever. I'm just saying, like, they know how. I mean, look at that shit. All those people, I never even heard that shit was going to happen. And they have all those people lined up. Like, that's called organizing.
86 Blackberry White said they are also better funded than the left with wealthy backers. And that definitely is part of that. I think, you see different events that they have, right? Like CPAC, Turning Point USA always has, that is backed by a lot of big conservative money. They always are putting on these events where people on the right can really get together, get to know different organization. And as Kami John says, in perfect timing with where I was kind of going, the left has nothing, right? Despite what they try and say. Joy, I don't think your March for Medicare for All gets any money from George Soros, right?
Well, look, if I'm going to be transparent, George Soros loves Medicare for All, okay? He wants it more than any of us. I'm just gonna keep it real.
He was the one that provided the shitty ramp that did shit for Annie River and Annie Chambers.
Yes,
right?
Yes. I'm so glad we raised money for a ramp. Oh my god! And then they told me all the specifications, and her ramp didn't even fit on it to get on the stage. Yay! Yeah, like George Soros like sets us up like that, dude. I don't fucking know. He's just, I mean, look, it was announced today that he had some kind of health problems, and he's like, don't worry, I'm okay. And I was like, good, because you're fucking 7 years in arrears, dude. Like, I'm still waiting for my checks. No excuse to be home. Like, I need help. You need to send me that money.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
The people in the chat today are really on top of it with shit that's going on. I didn't even know this. 86 Blackberry White is saying DeSantis, maybe I did hear about this a little bit ago, but DeSantis helped raise over $1 million to pay for legal fees for Jordan Neely's killer, I guess, according to 86 Blackberry White. Wow. So a governor raising money for that shit just shows. Imagine if they raised money for like humanitarian things, like actual humanitarian things. But
no, because I'm going to tell you what, because that's why our East Palestine rally has $115 donations. Now, I don't mean that to be an asshole. I am so thankful for every single penny that is donated. But that's how things like that happen. It's like, you have GoFundMe's for things like that are just so like obsolete, and they're just like, but like us trying to get people healthcare, in a city that is just absolutely devastated. It's much harder to raise money, especially just as a bunch of volunteers who are just like, just putting ourselves on the line without, any backers really.
Right.
It's an interesting dichotomy.
So this one I actually knew. I saw this tweet and I was pretty revolted by it. The National Police Association came out in support of that piece of shit murderer too. Yeah. They tweeted that.
Surprising, no. Disgusting, yes.
Yeah. Which reminds me, and I forget exactly where this was, there were a group of Starbucks workers on strike who were selling coffee outside of Starbucks to spread awareness, right? They're like, here's our own coffee we're selling. Let's educate people about what Starbucks is doing and why we're out there. Well, apparently, Starbucks called the police on them, and there's a video where the cop comes and basically says, you can't be doing this. You're competing with the office, and they're like, we're just talking to people and selling coffee. And it was like, the only reason why you're probably here is because Starbucks called you to come here, right? And the guy basically admitted it, and he was like. It's like, yeah, I know, I get it. I'm in a union too. And it's like, no. You could not be any further from these Starbucks workers in
Yeah.
terms of just it was almost like he tried to almost level, even though it's like, dude, you're literally using your fucking union power or whatever you have to defend a corporation.
Yeah, like your union literally means that you don't have to get private counsel when one of y'all fucks up. You like have
You're
each
the
other's
union for the
back and you
corporations.
do internal investigations and shit like that. Like that's your union.
Yeah.
I wonder if
When I
they
hear
even
about cop
pay
unions, it's
dues.
essentially they're just unions for corporations. That's
Yeah.
really what it is. The
Yeah.
corporations hate unions, but they like cop unions because the cops always represent them.
Absolutely.
That's really what it is.
It's like, oh, you're helping to raise money for the unhoused. Listen to this. 30 years ago, my one neighbor had a cousin whose dog was unhoused. And let me tell you about that. It's like they try to identify with you. Like you're going to be like, so like, oh my God, they totally get me. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah. So this, and I realize this article is local to Boston, but I'm sharing it because I do think many other cities have this similar type of wealth and racial disparity, particularly when it comes to life expectancy due to historical redlining. And so this is a WBUR article. It's a local NPR that is actually affiliated with BU. But I'm just going to read a little bit of it because it's been known about this for a while, but they've done a little bit more studies on the health disparities within 2 miles, right? And so in Boston, a 2-mile difference in where you live may mean a 23-year difference in life expectancy. That startling analysis from the Boston Public Health Commission shows the longest average life expectancy is nearly 92 years for residents in a section of the Back Bay. Right, Back Bay is a neighborhood, has probably one of the most wealthiest parts of Boston. Residents near Nubian Square in Roxbury have the shortest expected lifespan, just under 69 years. It's really disturbing, right? Yeah. It's really disturbing, said Boston's Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Sorry if I mispronounced this, Baizola Ajikutu. So much work has gone into improving life expectancy for individuals. It feels discouraging. The two neighborhoods highlighted in a report released Friday are vastly different in many ways. The median household income of the census tract within Roxbury is $42,211 versus $141,250 in the Back Bay tract. Rates of homeownership in the Back Bay are more than double than those in Roxbury. A vast majority, some 91% of Back Bay residents over the age of 25 have a college degree, compared to 44% in Roxbury, and 82% of residents in the Back Bay tract are white, while 87% in the Roxbury tract are people of color, predominantly Black or Latinx, the report said. All of these factors play a role in life expectancy. Ojikutu said, the stress of trying to live on low wages and combat racism, sometimes in substandard housing while not feeling safe, erodes health. Chronic stress leads to higher blood pressure and an increased risk of cardiovascular disease, says Ojikutu.
Yeah.
Chronic stress can also increase levels of the hormone cortisol, which can increase your risk of weight gain, obesity, and diabetes. Add to the fact that there oftentimes aren't grocery stores within a radius, a walking
True.
distance, right? Where we have food
Food
deserts.
desert.
The only option is that you can go to the corner store to get food. That oftentimes, let's face it, corner stores aren't known for having necessarily the most nutritious things in their stores. And so she says, I think all of these things are interconnected. No, I do not want to sign up for your newsletter. Please go away. Um, and so some researchers called the impact of chronic stress weathering an analogy to the wear and tear of steady storms to describe how stress can age a body. COVID-19 contributed to a decrease in life expectancy for all Boston residents, but the impact varied by race. Life expectancy dropped by about 1 year for white residents compared to 3 years for Asian and Black residents and 4 years for Latinx residents, the report says. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's always good to just lay out kind of the numbers, right? It's a 69 versus 91 life expectancy.
Yeah.
And so, and within a 2 mile radius, and that just shows how all these types of policies, when it comes to redlining, when it comes to segregation, when it comes to class, dividing people up by race and class, how that just leads such a vast different experience in people's lives. And yeah, Joy, what was your reaction to some of that?
I mean, of course, I think of healthcare first because
Yes.
it's literally relative to every fucking thing that exists. If these people had full national improved Medicare for all, they would not have a single bill. They could get the tests they need, they could get the doctors they need, they could get a therapist. Like, talk about stress and stuff. Do you know how many people don't even have the ability to go to a counselor, a therapist? Like,
Yeah.
like literally everyone should have that ability. Everyone. There is no shame. Everyone. And
Mm-hmm.
there is more depression, anxiety, suicide ideation, self-harm than literally ever in our history. And that is the biggest thing, that concerns me about people who don't have health care.
Yeah.
Because this, just like this article said, these stresses create, heart risks, things like that. Like, just having that stress of, do I pay my rent or do I pay this medical bill? Or, I mean, I was at the hospital today. Like, I fucking get it. Like, I'm 3K in, like, and I have surgery Friday, so it ain't stopping anytime soon. It's scary. So, and I think, besides my disability, and money as a whole, I think, my medical bills are absolutely the thing I get the most depressed and
Yeah.
stressed about.
Yeah.
I mean, I sit here like, just like, for hours, like, how can I possibly pay for any of this? And I'm working a $10 an hour warehouse shit
Mm.
job where they treat me like garbage because I don't, I can't make ends meet otherwise. So it's like, it puts people in horrible situations, and which also leads to being unhoused and, not having a college degree and things. It's
Yes.
it's all relative, all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think specifically going off of sort of college degree, Boston in particular, I think I've said this before, they only have one 4 year public college in Boston, right? Boston is thought of as a city with so many universities. Yes, it does. They only have one 4 year public college out of all.
Wow.
And so talk about how, yeah, access, having access to a college, a lot of these colleges, right, tuition is very expensive, right? And it does end up being a big class divide in terms of who can go to college, right?
I've been looking at, because I was a literature major and philosophy minor, but I really, 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 for years, I've wanted to go back to school for criminology,
Yeah.
because I'm like obsessed with true crime. And I, I've been looking at like so many different schools, and a single class, even the cheapest place I found, a community college local to me, is $1,200 for one
Wow.
class
Yeah.
plus books. Like, I can't find,
Yeah.
how the fuck am I gonna do that? And then it's gonna take me like 15 years to get that degree.
Yeah.
So it's like, how the hell am I, like, so like I get it. The struggle is fucking fierce.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing too. When people talk about tuition, right? Like free free tuition, right? That's good, but tuition doesn't count all the other extra things you have to pay, like books, like transportation, lodging.
Dorms.
That's a big thing. The dorms, I mean, they by themselves oftentimes even outdo the tuition
Yep.
sometimes. They really overcharge so much for you to live in like a 100-foot room with another human
Yeah,
being.
seriously. It's like, excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom, but I have to like squeeze in between my dresser and my bed to get there.
Yeah, yeah. And then you're paying like what, 3,000 uh 3,000 or so for food, right? To
Yeah,
be able
they
to.
make you get those food cards a lot of places.
And that's
Yeah.
what I mean. No politicians. I have not heard any politician. I don't even think Bernie Sanders talked about this at all when he was, running. The amount of food scarcity, right? The amount of students who are just starving because they don't have the money to get the food and in school, right? That is a huge issue. I think some reports, even like in community college, there's like 20% of students are like not, starving and under eating because they can't afford to, and they don't have support, right? So those are things that also that happen, that again, tuition, talking about free tuition is great, but you also need to address some of the other things that are happening as well with that. So yeah, which of course boils down to healthcare. So yeah, that was a little bit, we went in a few different places, but of course when you talk about
We're
one thing, I kind
digressing
of.
a lot tonight, but that's only because we love you guys and we feel comfortable sharing our thoughts. And we love that you guys get involved. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah. So all right. Well, speaking of healthcare, we're talking about Florida now and what DeSantis is doing. Yes, giving DeSantis the middle finger. That is a very good reaction.
And people better hope this fucker doesn't run for president, because you know what? You put up Biden, we get DeSantis.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and it's now legal in Florida for doctors to deny health care to anyone if they feel like it. Florida Governor DeSantis signed a bill on Thursday that will allow doctors and health insurance companies to deny care to anyone they want. I'm struggling to wrap my head around this because health insurance companies never want to cover anybody by default. And so, okay, under the new law, a healthcare provider or health payer has the right to opt out of participation in or payment for any healthcare service on the basis of a conscience-based objection, meaning based on their moral, ethical, or religious beliefs. Providers and insurers will face no consequences under the measure and will not be required to refer patients to a place that will provide the needed care. If they are penalized for denying care coverage, the doctor or company can sue. The law makes no mention of protections against gender or race-based discrimination, leading opponents to rightly worry that the sweeping nature of the text will let providers deny care or coverage to women, people of color, LGBTQ people. A doctor could deny care, for instance, if they are morally opposed to gender-affirming care, or if they don't like that a patient is having premarital sex. And it's not just doctors. Under the law, insurance companies, nurses, pharmacists, hospitals, ambulances, and more could also deny care. So if someone just comes to you in an ambulance, right, like, and you're hurt, they could just say no. Like, I don't like how this person identifies, or
Like you have a button on that's a rainbow. I'm sorry. This ambulance is not going to transport you.
yeah, like,
Totally legal now.
this bill is a broad license for healthcare providers and insurance companies to refuse service to people. No one should be denied access to medical care, said Brandon Wolf, the press secretary for Equality Florida. This puts patients in harm's way, is antithetical to the job of healthcare providers, and puts the most vulnerable Floridians in danger. Yeah, and so as you can imagine, Kara Gross, legislative director and senior policy counsel for the ACLU of Florida, had previously warned that the bill left too much room for subjectivity in determining criteria for care. Do you want me to stop? Keep going?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating because, like, I know one thing I will say about Obamacare is something I've always said, is that it took away the pre-existing condition clause, which helped people like me because we got to have health care, well, health insurance, because we had pre-existing conditions and we were always turned down. Like when I lost my job, I couldn't nobody would give me insurance because I had pre-existing conditions. And then Obamacare gave me the ability to get insurance. Now, let's not talk about how much I paid, but it at least gave me the ability to get it. And it was, even though thousands of dollars, it was still cheaper than if I didn't have it at all. Now, that being said, now Florida is going right back to, I can deny you for a pre-existing condition as well. So not just, not only discrimination, but because, I don't know, you like have all kinds of shit wrong with you. I want the patients who are going to be like in and out. They have a cold. I tell them take Robitussin and they're done.
I'm just curious. We'll have to see, Amy. Not that I have that much faith in the judicial branch, but I'm curious to see what judges are going to be doing with this, because this just, it's absurd.
You're going to have people who are going to have to leave Florida to go
100%.
to doctor appointments and shit.
Yeah. Travel over to different states to have an appointment, even though healthcare sucks across state borders too. So I don't fucking know, man. Yeah.
Which is another reason, kids, why state by state is complete and utter bullshit. Just saying.
Just your daily reminder.
Just your minutely reminder.
Oh, man. So, okay, yeah. And then 86 Blackberry White says, and yeah, I've been thinking about this too a lot. DeSantis is more competent and thus more dangerous than Trump.
Yes.
Fortunately, he has little chance of beating Trump in the GOP primary. Well, yeah,
and also, right. And that, yeah, we've talked about that. That is so scary because people are like Orange Man bad, and Trump he's a douche canoe, but at the same time, he had no like real political history or like knowledge of how to like really fuck things up directly. And DeSantis, he is in this shit, and he has a whole lot of connections, and he's not just gonna do mean tweets like that. Look at what he's done to Florida. Like, imagine him being the whole country. Like, Trump was a cakewalk if we get DeSantis.
Yeah, and the thing with DeSantis too is that it's easy to forget. I mean, I forget sometimes. He was in Congress before he was a governor.
He was.
So he also has experience in the federal government, right? And so I mean, objectively speaking, right, in terms of experience, he is very quote unquote qualified in terms of it being experienced in knowing how things work. And that's, I think, what makes him scary too, right? Yeah. He's not green at all, right? Some people think, oh, he's a governor. He just does things. He just knows how to do things in his own state. Well, no, he can transfer that over to the country because he's been in the federal government as well.
And he works with plenty of people that do not reside in Florida.
Yeah,
he has connections all over.
Exactly. And I think one thing that is worth, and going off of what Blueberry was saying, or sorry, Blackberry White was saying.
Sorry, Veruca's Law.
It's late. I'm sorry. I mean, if anybody though wants to make a screen name Blueberry, and just like go in the chat, I wouldn't be opposed. That'd be kind of cool to have a Blueberry name.
Yo, Blueberry's here. What's up? What's up, Blueberry? Can I get a strawberry too?
Yeah. Cherry on top. Like,
well, I say the word bananas a lot, so yes. I'm going to do bananas.
But I'm really happy. That's a blooper. I think we should, yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
I'm so glad that DeSantis has absolutely no charisma.
Yes.
That is one thing I think that will play against him. So, yeah.
Agree.
Yeah. So we got one more topic. This should not come as too much of a surprise. But in case you want to have facts and figures when we say, oh, we help out non-democratic authoritarian regimes, we're not really trying to spread democracy. Well, it came out to report up to 2022 that U.S. sold weapons to roughly 60% of the world's authoritarian nations in 2022.
USA! USA!
USA! And so that's according to a new analysis conducted by Security Policy Reform Institute co-founder Stephen Siemler and published Thursday in The Intercept. The U.S. has been one of the world's largest arms dealers since the end of the Cold War. Data released in March showed that the U.S. accounted for 40% of global weapons exports from 2018 to 2022. In general, these exports are funded through grants or sales. There are two pathways for the latter category: foreign military sales. Okay, we know a little bit about some of that. And direct commercial sales. The U.S. government acts as an intermediary for FMS acquisitions. It buys the material from a company first and then delivers the goods to the foreign recipient. DCS acquisitions are more straightforward. They're the result of an agreement between a U.S. company and a foreign government. Both categories of sales require the government's approval. So, yeah. So that's, that's essentially what is going on here, as we know. But, yeah.
I was honestly just kind of surprised it wasn't more. Than 60%, like, to be honest, considering we have more military bases than anyone else, and like But Andrew and I were talking for a few minutes before we started, and we were saying that it's probably not more than that because A, they're trying to conceal that it's more than that, and B, because they don't want us to know it's more than that, and they haven't been given the access to prove it's more than that. And also because the USA may not be giving certain people ammo or weapons or anything like that because there's nothing in it for them. Because we know every single person we give any kind of ammo to or anything like that, we know we're getting something in return. Well, not
Lithium,
here, there.
lithium, oil, gold. Yeah. Oh,
Hey, remember when Queen Hillary gave Russia 20% of our uranium? That was fun.
yeah. So, as usual, this has been a heavy show with heavy topics.
Oh, yeah. Substance is sexy. Mm-hmm.
So, should I show the funny?
Show the funny, boo. Show it.
All right. So, I'm just going to read the sign. So, this guy who, is this guy with Patriot Front or is he with someone
Oh,
else?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Anyway, he says don't erase moms and dads, basically saying women plus man equals baby, right? And then the person behind is holding up a sign saying your pink sign is so gay.
But the thing, before you take it away, the thing that I love so much about this is not just that it's hilarious, but look at the woman's face. She is so fucking happy
Yeah,
that she gets to like
groovy.
call this idiot out. It's so amazing. She's like, it's awesome.
Teresa 273 says looks like he's from a bowling team.
Right? Oh my gosh, you're so right.
That, but yeah,
Wow.
like one of those like towny bowling places from like
shit,
the
you're
60s,
so right.
70s. Yeah.
Big Lebowski.
Definitely.
Oh my god. So I just put the link in the chat. This is we'll talk about that. Andrew, let's give your updates before we close.
Yeah, I don't really have too many updates.
I knew you were gonna say that. Start coming up with things, like be like, yeah, I'm gonna walk my friend's dog and then I'm gonna go grocery shopping. Like make it seem like you're like all like boring.
All right, I'll come up with some creative updates next
Come up with a list and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna just watch this movie, or I know you're more exciting in real life.
I'm gonna use this fidget spinner right now. Let's see,
remember
from like 2018. Yeah, I still got one.
Nice. That's a nice. So, Wednesday, likely, I'm going to be having a few more people from East Palestine. Tomorrow, there is a big old town hall in East Palestine, and a lot of shit will be revealed. Trust me, it's going to get juicy. And I'm here for it because I know a lot of the stuff that's going to be coming out because I've spoken with the people behind closed doors, and trust me. So that's happening tomorrow, Wednesday. The new introduction of Medicare for All will be introduced in the House and Senate. Is it perfect? Hell no. But it does have some improvements as far as a lot more gender affirming care, a lot more for trans people, a lot more specifics for women. So there are certainly improvements, no question. The reason it's going to be in the House and the Senate is because Senator Sanders and Representative Jayapal came together to rework the bill to make it more cohesive together. So she's presenting House, he's presenting Senate. So tomorrow is the last day that you can call your reps to, even if they do say they support it, trust me, call them, because guess who said they supported before? Kamala, Elizabeth Warren. Like, these people literally signed onto it, and then they fucking ran and like said they didn't support it. So yeah, I mean, call your reps, tell them put up or shut the fuck up, because these numbers do matter. Even if it doesn't pass, these numbers matter because it shows that it does have the possibility of passing, and it shows you, does your rep actually care about what you are saying you want and need? So it's good just to have it on record. It is good. I'm looking forward to it. I've been blowing up Fetterman's phone because I have his cell number because he was on my show, but I don't care. So yeah, I'm not fucking around. Like, call your reps, and especially if they vote no, oh, you better get on that fucking phone and just rip them a new asshole. But yeah, so that's happening Wednesday. And I'll be going live Wednesday night to talk about the town hall. Sunday is my birthday. I'll be 44, which is so
Ooh.
44, Andrew. 40 fucking 4. I hope I don't look 44. God. Anyway, so I'm going to be 44, and for my birthday, I am asking people to please donate to our rally fund for East Palestine. Some of the things, put that link back up, you stink pot. Some of the things we're raising money for is cases of water. We're looking to try to get East Palestinians grocery gift cards. Most of them do not even have air purifiers. So we're looking to raise money to really just help them any possible way we can. And also, we do have some rally expenses, but we are, like, when I say we are doing it low key, like, I'm so serious. We are not getting a stage. We are not getting a sound system. Like, we are literally having a megaphone. Like, this is like so low key, because we want as much funds that are raised to go to these people who need it so badly. So yes, as a birthday present to me, please donate to the Give Send Go. It will help us, and it will also mainly help the people in East Palestine. So thank you so much. Smash the like button, smash subscribe on YouTube, on my YouTube, Savage Joy Marie Man, and my Rockfin Savage Joy Marie Man. And yes, I have a Patreon as well. But thank you all so much for watching. Much love. Oh, and also, before I forget, my Andrew, can you take that photo away so I can enlarge my dingle? There. Okay. So this behind me, this is for music trivia. It's going to be all 80s. It's going to be like 80s film and music and pop culture, and we're going to do trivia. So the we do have an Eventbrite where you can sign up. The event is free, but we are asking a suggested donation of $5 or more to be able to play. And it's going to be so fun. I'm going to have a teammate, Zach, there. He's still in high school, but he's been volunteering and organizing, and he's so amazing. So he wasn't even alive when this stuff happened, so it should be interesting. And my other comrade, Joshua. So we're just going to have fun, and hell yeah, I'm going to dress up. But there will be prizes. So yes, definitely tune in, guys. But that's enough of my ramble. Thanks all so much for watching, and we love you.